Do podcast.
Yep.
Rick says live. Hey, y'all know me. I'm always late. I got 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm live. Hey. Y'all know us.
Listen.
I mean, we do what we do, but we here.
Yes.
What we doing?
So this is a special edition, y'all. It's a Saturday, number one. So
Hey.
Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. And so this is a special Sparks edition, honestly, because I got my girl, Kiana Sparks, and I got her mom, Miss Wonderful Cynthia Sparks.
Hey, in the building.
So,
And then our musical guest today, even though he's not here, will be my brother, Calvin Sparks.
yeah.
And we are going to be doing his song, Smell the Flowers, today. So we're going to let you hear a little snippet of it. He ain't sent no picture, so just listen. Just listen. This is my brother, Calvin Sparks. Yeah, Callie. Let's go.
Okay.
You can see our beautiful faces while you listen to this music. What I really like is a good song, y'all.
It is.
And then we're going to get straight into the flow of it. Okay?
That's right.
Looks like you lost another one.
Sometimes it's better to stop and smell the flowers. Sometimes I only get high to keep me grounded. Sometimes I'd rather be lost than think I'm founded. Sometimes I feel more alone when people around me. So tell me the recipe, I think I'm ready to cook, I studied already, but everything ain't in the book, You practice a little to nothing as hard as it looks, Like 90% of it, that's what the rest of it look. So who gon' pull up? I don't see many, let's keep it a buck. All of this energy keeping me up. Open my mind so I never get stuck. Got me up early with the goddamn verse. Try to make it down with the goddamn verse. If I hit this lick, it's a brand new verse, yeah. When we walk, they watch the show. So addicted to the moment. Seasons come and then they go. We all grow, there we go. Sometimes it's better to stop and smell the flowers. Sometimes I only get high to keep me grounded. Sometimes I'd rather be lost than think I'm
That's my
found.
brother, y'all. Hey.
Sometimes I feel more alone when people around me. Yeah. So tell me the recipe, I think I'm ready to cook. I studied already, but everything ain't in the book. You practice a little, but nothing as hard as it look. It ain't hard as it look, no. Like 90% of it, effort, the rest of it look.
Yes. Come on. Yes.
Yes.
That is somewhere in Cali, y'all. Cali. So that's his name, y'all. So listen, y'all better YouTube it up. Find them. That's called Smell the Flowers. Big lit song. He got a whole lot of other ones. But guess what?
Yeah.
We about to get into it. We got Miss Cynthia Sparks here.
We
She is an RN.
definitely do.
She is the founder of Mainline Maternity Care and had a dope first annual symposium yesterday. Clap it up. Because it was super lit.
It definitely was. Congratulations.
Amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you for letting me be
By
here
the
today.
way, she's my mom. Don't worry about that part. She's my mom. So Tish, I'm gonna let you take it away with the first question while I try to figure out to set up my Facebook and get it public.
Yes, for sure. So let's see. What misconceptions about mental health have you personally faced, and how did you overcome them?
What misconceptions have I faced, and how did I overcome them? I would say, honestly, it's relating to family dynamic, because mental health was something in my family that wasn't necessarily spoken upon.
Mhm.
And what I learned in my own evolution is that my family suffers from depression. So not knowing that initially, and being told from family, you don't discuss things outside of the home. If you're feeling a certain kind of way, you just deal with it. You always have to be strong. Don't let them see you cry, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
But if we think about those things specifically, they lead to more depression. If you're not talking about it and you're holding it in,
True.
then you're not able to go down a path of healing.
Exactly. You have no release.
Right.
Mhm.
So for me, it was really stepping outside of what I learned
Okay.
in my own family and their upbringing, and then seeking support.
Awesome.
Without the support, I don't think that I would actually have been able to be where I am today.
That's that community.
Yes.
That's the community that everybody be talking about.
About,
That
yeah.
village that never should go away. even
Make
though
a difference.
They like it takes a village to raise the child, but what happens when the child is raised? The village go away?
No, the
Like,
village
the
should
village
still
should
be
never
there.
go away.
Yeah.
So we
Right.
always need that village. I think that's very important.
Yes.
So that community part. That's what I heard when you said that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so my computer is doing what it's doing. Technology is me every time. Like, I don't know what the problem is, but it does it. So my question is, can you share a moment where you truly felt at peace with yourself and loved on yourself with that self-love? Like one moment where you was like, this is it.
Mm-hmm. And it's a little ironic that I'm going to share this because I think you can tap into it as well.
Okay.
But yes, one of the things that my girlfriends encouraged me to do was do a vacation by yourself. We get together, we have a good time, and it's always action-packed.
Mhm.
But, one of my girlfriends said, you should go on vacation by yourself. And I did that. And of course, to my happy place, which happens to be Jamaica. I'm Jamaican.
Okay.
So that's what I claim.
Okay.
But Jamaica, for me, when I went in an alone state, was eye-opening. It was the very first time that I actually felt the presence of God, because all of the other things that were in my head and around were silenced. They were quiet. So taking myself on vacation and really spending time with myself in a place where you're surrounded by nothing but nature and what God has put in place was really impactful for me.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I love that. Then you said, girl, Kiana, come on, get your life. I got to
Yes.
take you to Jamaica because I went there and found my life.
Yes.
Girl, you need your life. Come find it, baby.
Yes.
And that's what happened in real life. And I found my life in Jamaica in real life.
Yes.
Not at that same time.
I know,
But
a different time.
A different
you
time. But
found it.
I can definitely relate to that for sure.
I knew you would be able to.
I
Yes.
loved it bad. Now I think I'm addicted. I want to be Jamaican. Or
Yeah,
Puerto
be
Rican
Jamaican.
or Dominican. Something
I think we
like
might
that.
have some ties over that
I'm
side.
a Akin.
Something.
I'm a Akin.
Okay.
Okay.
I think we have some ties over
Okay.
there. But we have to
Akin.
do
Something Akin.
We're making up words.
We do. All the
It's
time.
all good. It's all good. As long as we can understand one
Yeah,
another
you
in
got
the
what I
village.
was saying, right? Because you're all in my village. So y'all know I'm something Akin.
Right.
Yes.
Got it. Yes. All right, Tish, back to you.
All right, back to me. Let's see. What advice would you give to someone who is struggling, but he or she won't seek help? They're very hesitant.
Talk. You don't necessarily have to go to someone that is a professional, right? But just having conversations with the people that you feel most secure around. Whether that is a family member, honestly, it can be a stranger. Have you guys ever been out in the market and somebody say, how you doing? And then y'all have a 5-minute, 10-minute conversation on the side?
Yeah.
You don't know them. They don't know you. But when somebody asks you, how you doing? Take the opportunity to answer it in authenticity, because that's your ability to release.
That's true.
But you never know how impactful you can be and your story can be to someone else. So I would say just talking.
That's true.
To
And
anyone.
I say that too because I believe sometimes people ask you how you're doing because they can feel how you're doing. So a stranger that asks you that question sometimes has that ability to know that you're not actually doing really well, and
Right.
maybe you need to get something off your chest.
They can
Yeah.
sense it.
Yeah, they can
They
sense
can
it.
sense it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell y'all a story. True story. I'm into crystals and things like that, and I'm in a learning stage. So of course I don't have all the answers.
Mhm.
Who really does? But anyway, on anything in life. But I go into a store and I'm feeling a kind of way. So I went there specifically to get an item to kind of help my spirits. You never know who it is that you're having a conversation with, because the moment I walk in, I'm looking around and a young woman is there, and she's just, she smiled nicely, nodded her head, and she's paying attention to me the whole time. 5 minutes after me wandering around, she finally comes over and she says, "Do you mind if I hold your hand?" And I was like, "What's a stranger want to touch me for?"
Yeah.
Right? That's my initial
Why
response.
you want to touch me?
Exactly.
And she said, "I noticed that right now you have a lot of negative energy around you, and you came into this store seeking some support. I just want to be able to connect a little deeper so I can get you what you need."
Wow.
So you're right.
Mhm.
Some people feel that
Feels, yeah.
automatically,
Mhm.
and not everybody out here is bad.
No.
And if you put yourself in places and spaces where there are people that are willing to share whatever gift that they have, you can always be on the receiving end. But that's also a teaching and a learning moment, because then you can be that for the next person that
someone
you may
else.
come along.
That's so
I
true.
love that.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
I love to be able to receive and to give at the same time, and the fact that you never know where you're going to get it from.
Right.
And that the person had no idea what you was going through. They don't even know you, but the fact is to say, "Can I come hold your hand?"
Yeah.
Is powerful.
Exactly.
She felt you.
Right. One of the things that I also do with my families and patients is offer hugs.
I'll be having I'm sorry. It burns me, y'all. I'm sorry. It's always something. I don't know why.
Timer, check your timer.
Like, it's always something with my lives, and it really gets under my skin, y'all. Because it's always something. Like, I can't even get Facebook together. Like, it's always something. And it be on my part. Like, why? And I'm sorry, now I gotta vent to y'all because it burns me that it's always my side. Like, what the heck? Why can't I listen here? Facebook, Streamer Live Yard, Instagram, YouTube, get it together. Because y'all burning me out.
Please help my girl out.
Every live, yo, like everyone. I could see if it was just the first one. I'm sorry. Now you're gonna have a viewer? Really? While I'm doing all of this, you wanna have a viewer now?
Then they want to be your viewer want to see you venting about.
You gotta be kidding me.
Hug time. Hug time.
Cause why though?
It's okay.
You know why? Because our phone ain't go out all day, so it's like one of those things, right?
It's like I gotta wait till Kiana doing the live. The technology be like, as soon as she do the live, that's what we gonna get her. Every time.
So then what you have to do is claim, you know what? There's not going to be any technical difficulties today.
It likes the energy that it brings. Certain energies love to see me riled up for whatever reason, honey. And they like it. And they be like, we gonna get her there. We gonna get her there. And it's just be like, it be this. Sorry.
It's the thing right here.
Well, guess it's my turn.
It's your turn for the next question.
What is your question?
Okay, my question says, what's one compliment you like to give yourself right now?
Determination.
That's a good one.
I would like to compliment myself for being determined to seek my dreams and passions.
Yes.
Again, coming up in my era, what was bred into me was work and take care of your family. I do that very well. I work like a workhorse and I take care of my family. But also I put my things, my passions, my desires on the backside. And that also helped spiral me down into my depression. I lost who I was, right? And then having to get out of that, determination, because every day is not going to be a good day. But it shouldn't be something that takes you back down to where you are back at the bottom. So determination to keep moving forward, and I have to compliment myself on that, because no matter how challenging it has been and the struggles that we have gone through, even really detrimental in terms of life, but I'm still here.
That's right.
So God says you have a purpose. and I'm determined to stick it out.
Yes.
I know that's right.
And the purpose is major. And I'm resilient because of you. Because I
I know
see you
that's
be
right.
resilient. Bounce back and bounce
And
back.
she is
And
you. Let me just tell you. Let me tell you. She is you all the way. So I know. So I gotta say, I only met Kiana mom once. So yesterday was like the official watch, right? Because when I met her the first time, she came to Kiana's So Love event. But yesterday, when I watched both of y'all, I said, y'all are two of the same. They don't need no mics. They voices project. They own the room. Like, awesome people. Like, awesome.
Thank you for that, sis. Thank you for that. We appreciate it. But yeah, and it's so funny. Let me share a little moment. So she never wanted to grow up to be like me, right? I never wanted to grow up to be like my mom. Guess who we became?
Our moms.
Listen, I was
Say
like,
what?
it was so funny watching both of y'all. It was like a mirror. Like, so we got Tanya. We got our girlfriend Tanya in the corner there. That's billing us for this Baltimore trip. She over there and she's like, yeah. She shaking her head, yeah. I guess she know I'm right. It was so weird, right?
It was a double effect. It's like, what's going on?
Yes. So this is going to be a really short session today because. Okay, great.
But she the boss.
That's what I was about to say.
When
We want to respect her time. So she gave us 5:15. So I'm going to ask this question. I think it's important.
Out how to get this on. Oh, buddy. Maybe not. You know opposites attract. Oh no. All I'm trying to do is figure out how to get to. But it's not doing it so that I can make myself public on Facebook. If it ever do it right.
So what barriers exist in accessing mental health care, and how do you think they can be addressed?
There's quite a few barriers in terms of accessing mental health care, but they're getting better. One of the things for people that are in underserved situation is ability to get there. Mm-hmm. If you find a practitioner, right, mm-hmm. then you have to get into the office. So whether that is a virtual office space or in-person brick and mortar office space, you have to get there. That being said, what happens when someone doesn't necessarily have transportation to show up in person, or if they do not have computer or internet means to have that virtual representation?
True.
A lot of the government phones that are issued have minutes associated with them, mm-hmm. or some of the programs might not allow for certain things, longevity. Mm-hmm. So if I have 10 appointments, am I going to be able to have all of those virtual during the time frame that I need it?
Exactly.
So one of the things that we want to be intentional about is creating hubs in the community where if somebody is challenged or having concerns and they can't necessarily get out, they can at least get to one of those hubs where there's resources and there's people that they can tap into, touch, talk to live that will hopefully be able to give them just a little bit more to get to the next day.
Mm-hmm. I think I'll answer just for me personally. I remember trying to even reach out to a healthcare professional, and it was so hard. Mm-hmm. Like I felt like I was pulling teeth to try to find a healthcare professional, and then they would say, well, call your insurance company on the back of a card that tells you where. And then you call the insurance company on the back of the card, and you call them, and then it gives you a whole list, and then you're calling the list, and then nobody calls you back. Right. Then you're leaving messages, and then you're calling again, and it was like,
and here's the thing.
It shouldn't be that hard.
It shouldn't be that hard. And if you are already in a place or a space where you got all these things going on,
you ain't doing that.
You're not even doing it.
You actually check out. You check out. You say, well, why am I going to even bother? And then that's a problem.
Right.
So I found that to be really crazy, and I'm always like very vocal about that because I'm big on mental health and I'll be like, oh, my mental is stressed. Let me go check it out. But if I can't find nobody, that's horrible. Right. So I'm like, if I can't, then I know so many other people can.
Right. Now, in crisis situations, you can always contact, I'm not sure what it might be in Pennsylvania, but here, because I've been removed for a little bit, but here in Maryland, like there's a couple contact numbers to get crisis service, intervention services that you can tap into. And I'm sure that they're we'll have local areas back in Pennsylvania and obviously the national line to contact. But for that ongoing, like, I need that in the community so people can actually touch and tap into. Some of the individuals that we had at our event yesterday are big in the mental health world. So certainly tapping into their resources and services is something that we're going to make sure that you guys have as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right. No, I know. This is retarded. So my question is, in the spirit of being resilient, right? What is something that you had to unlearn to be able to dive into your self-love? What are some unhealthy habits or beliefs that you had to unlearn? They say that, they say we program, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now, what did you have to deprogram to be able to reprogram some new stuff in there?
Mm-hmm. Good question. Finding my own voice.
Oh,
that's a big one.
Finding my own voice, because again, I never realized that I suffered from depression, which actually started when I was pregnant with Kiana. Didn't know it, but that's when it started. And what I had to let go was that mindset of be quiet, don't say anything, hold it in, and really begin to open my mouth and let my feelings out by way of my voice. That was a learned behavior.
And why did you have that? Was it from your home? Like, why did you have to be quiet, don't say anything? Was that because that's how you were brought up? Everything stays in the house? And like, what made you feel like you had to be in that box, so to speak?
I think it's a combination of, growing up in a mindset where family didn't discuss things that were concerning. So if it was something that, and I'll just kind of use this as an example, if I had a bad day and I was acting out, it was dealt with punishment, not a conversation.
Okay.
Not getting to the root cause of where that was coming from. So that, and then when you are raised in a house with 9 brothers and sisters, your time is cut down to this.
Right, because it's a lot of it.
Because it's a lot.
From mom has to go to everybody.
Right. So it's like, get it in real quick if you got to have something to say, but the time to allow it to unfold naturally wasn't necessarily there. So in learning my own voice and understanding my feelings, I also had to be mindful of how I was getting it across.
And how did you learn how did you do that? How did you say, I'm going to start using my voice. I'm going to start speaking out. Like, was it a moment? Was it a mindset? Like, what made you say, you know what? They going to hear me today? Like, when did that happen?
Okay, so now y'all going to see a little bit of Kiana. So my mom used to always say, and I take everything back to family because, as we started out this conversation, we talk about the villages, right? I came up in a village. So I know what it means when it's like the family is there and supportive. Now there's good and there's bad in every family, right? And you have to kind of navigate that for your own individual selves. But for me, it was not being heard, and the conversations that were being had were incorrect.
Okay.
Yeah. And not just at home, but at work too. So I think the very first time that I vocalized what I was feeling was in a work situation. I was in a C-section, and I was a scrub person, and the physician that was doing the case needed an instrument, and I handed the wrong instrument. But what I got out of that was a bloody rag thrown at me. So, because I handed the wrong instrument. And yes, that is a very professional environment to be in. But I had to take the frustration in that moment and not respond in a way that I would at home with my brothers and sisters. So I had to take a moment of pause and silence, and then say that was in that moment, that was inappropriate behavior. I'm not sure if you throw things at your wife when you guys disagree, but I am not your wife, and this is not the appropriate setting.
Oh.
But when we leave out of here today, I would love to have a conversation with you in further detail, with or without human resources. You decide.
All right.
Yeah.
And I will be
Great.
perfectly honest with you in
Yeah.
that nobody throughout the rest of that section said a word. Complete silence.
Yeah. That's powerful, because it's powerful now. My energy is energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can feel it. I can feel it. Yep. That was
Yeah.
powerful. That was definitely powerful.
So when I, learned how to use my voice, I also had to learn how to bring it across, because we're different people depending upon who we're in front of,
Mm-hmm.
right? So in that moment, it was professional. At home, my mom used to say pressure bust pipes.
Yeah.
The pressure just kept mounting with, people at home. And then one time the pipe burst and it overflowed, and it was like, oh, here I am. And then it didn't stop.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Wow.
I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that story. I love story time.
She always say that.
Story time.
She's like, "For you got a story? I love story time."
Story time is everything. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been finding my voice since forever, but I always got something to say. But when I got my crystal, then I really found my voice. Remember I told you I lost it and it broke and all that? Then I started cussing everybody and their mama out. And I was like, let me tell you one thing. Because I've been holding this for all my years. And I've been meaning to tell you this. And that's what happened with me. So, yeah, what about you, friend?
When did I find my voice? I found my voice when I realized at my lowest, everyone was around, and at my highest, everybody disappeared.
Oh, wow.
So I realized.
Wait, say that again so they can understand what you just said, because that was powerful.
I felt my voice when I realized at my lowest, everyone was around, and at my highest, everyone disappeared. So I realized at my highest that I needed to have a voice about when I was high and when I was low, and who was in my presence to be able to hear me loud and clear for the reasons that they were in my life.
Right.
I needed to have a voice to say, you were here when I was low. When I was going through X, Y, and Z, you was here, but it wasn't the low of, I need you to be my friend or be comforting. It was the low of, well, let me just be nosy. Let me just stick around and see what's happening. So that's the low, not the low where you need somebody like the community to pull you in and love you, but the low of, oh, let me just be here.
Have you
To
ever
see what's
heard
happening.
of trauma bonding?
Mm-hmm.
So trauma bonding is a real thing, and y'all might have been trauma bonding, which is why they were there when you were at your low, because at that time you were in the trauma, they were in the trauma, y'all were bonding together. The moment you got out of the trauma, now they can no longer relate with you. They can no longer connect to you. So it's like, unfortunately, you outgrew them, so to speak, but that trauma bond is real, because sometimes people think that love is a trauma bond. Like, they're so in love, but it's really not love. It's the trauma bond that y'all have, because it's the trauma that y'all are together for. Like, it's the misery loves company type of thing.
The misery loves company type
Misery
thing.
loves company. And then as soon as I'm not miserable no more, we're happy
to your company. Exactly.
Wow.
And instead of being able to learn and grow through that together.
Yeah, people get offended. People get very much offended when you start to grow and you don't grow, and they're not growing with you. They get very offended. They get very standoffish.
Oh, yeah.
And they do and say things that are not cool.
Yeah, I lost a lot of friends just in the midst of writing my book in 2023. I lost a lot of friends, and the book ain't even come out. It was the jealousy of the book. I didn't even finish it. It wasn't even a book. It was coming, and everybody took it as a joke when I said it, and they laughed it off. And now, where y'all at?
So, finish that book.
She got it.
The book is done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I finished it, but it was in the midst of, how you say, well, what are you going to do? Something you want to do? This is what I wanted to do, and it was a joke. So everybody joked about it. But then when they see me writing, and I wasn't in the midst of what they had going on, I didn't want to sit around and just play, and I didn't want to sit around and go to the clubs, and I didn't want to do this, and I was very focused in my book. It was like, oh, she's serious. And I see people start walking away. Like I said it before on our podcast, they say God asked me to get rid of my enemies, and I started to lose a lot of friends. That's a real thing.
That is so true.
She tried to the same time out.
What's gonna happen?
We're just twins from a different generation.
Like, the funny part is, it came from my grandma, because my grandma used to always like, and I used to be like,
But we be paying attention.
We're
Paying attention.
Well, it is 5:15, y'all, so I don't know if you want to wrap up.
I know.
Wow.
Time goes. It's a lot of fun, though. Time goes.
We will
We'll come back and do it again, Mom.
Yes, please come back and do again. I would appreciate it. And
Tell them a little bit about you before you go, and what you got to do, and how you came about yesterday, and all that good stuff. Mainline. Go ahead. Boom.
Okay. This is not quick. Anyway, hello, people. So, Cynthia again, Kiana's mom, Tisha's now new friend.
Yes.
I'm killing the microphone.
You good.
I am the founder also of Mainline Maternity Care, and we are a home care company that was birthed out of requests of families. Yesterday, we had our very first symposium, and one of the speakers that was there, actually, I'm going to pick up all of them. The first speaker that I had, a young lady by the name of Olga, who is a nurse champion. And I say that because while she was in hospital and healthcare systems with her families who were unwell, she realized the value of nursing, and she champions for it. And she also champions for the fact that of all of the industries that are out there, like nurses really run the healthcare industry. So I wanted her to come on to really indicate the value of nursing as we move into this nurse-driven business. It is a home care company specific for moms and babies, and we want to be intentional about supporting this population. From a nurse-led perspective, we want to be the gap between providers in the hospital and doulas in the community. Because in situations, people's health change when they're pregnant. You can start off with a happy, healthy pregnancy that can go to the left really quickly. So our business and our model is to surround and support ourselves with other individuals, preferably like-minded women business owners, to support women. We had a phenomenal speaking or presentation, I should say, from Dr. Hack, who is an OBGYN, who shared the significance of what she sees in practice or saw in practice with women and postpartum depression. It's real. And when women are struggling with the things that they have to deal with before pregnancy and then the pregnancy and then a whole baby to take care of on the back end, sometimes those things don't line up appropriately and they need more support. And that's what we were created for. Patients asked me, can you please come home with me? Because the care that I chose to give at bedside was obviously a little bit different. And Olga showed that in her presentation yesterday, so I'm sorry you guys missed that. But care is in the heart of what we do, bottom line. You need people that care to care for people when they are not in the best places, whether it's physically or mentally. And we don't want to continue to see those things separate. Our model is to blend it together. We want to make sure that mom is, yes, physically well, and that her environment in which that baby is growing is healthy for that development. But we also want to tap into her mind and make sure that if she is experiencing anything that could lend its hand to depression or anxiety or any of the other challenges that women face, bipolar, schizophrenia, those kind of things, that they're surrounded by a community of supportive women who can help get them to that next day, that next week, that next month, and eventually have them look back and say, look how far I've come. That's the goal.
Yeah.
Love that. That was amazing. I ain't saying it just because you're my mama. That's really amazing. It's really dope. I love what you're doing. I'm so excited to be a part of it. What you're doing, I'm so proud of you, Mom.
Thank you, honey.
I
I am so proud.
And I just got a shout out my girl Kiana. She was a panelist yesterday.
Oh yeah, I was a panelist.
And she did amazing.
Thank you.
Yes. And then one quick shout out to the rest of my collective members. So we talked about a village, right? When I was thinking about forming my business and who I wanted to help and why, I knew I couldn't do it by myself, right? And Rihanna said, tell your friends to pull up.
That's what she told
So
me.
that's exactly what I did. I was like Rihanna said. So for all of my Rihanna fans out there, this was based on her directive. And I know y'all all saw that clip. I know y'all all saw that clip.
When she said, tell your friends to pull up.
Tell your friends to pull up.
Well, you called your friends?
So I was like, Kiana, this is what I want to do.
I
That's
said,
how
I'm
we gonna
pulling
do
up.
it.
I'm pulling up.
And then I called other family members and they started pulling up. And then I was like, I'm going to reach this arm out a little deeper and talk to some other individuals in the community. So we have a great collective and we will have more join. But that being said, the purpose is to reconstruct that village so that amongst our network, whatever is needed is already within, and we can say, hey, this person needs you over there. Can you? Would you? And then we can share resources and really build those community networks. That's what's most important. Right? So our collective includes, I am a nurse. We have doulas. We have lactation, IBCLC, so board certified lactation specialist. We have a young woman that specializes in bereavement and perinatal loss, because every pregnancy doesn't result in a baby. And I experienced that as well. Not necessarily in a way that a baby was formed, but I had an ectopic pregnancy, which was a planned pregnancy that I lost. So that being said, and was with an hour away from losing my life because I was bleeding internally. So there was a lot that came from that, but there was also a need for that level of support with the loss of a pregnancy that didn't develop into a baby, but the loss of a pregnancy that was a planned pregnancy. So all those emotions were still there. That being said, we want to not only support women in pregnancy and throughout the first 2 years of their life, but we want to make sure that we have support surrounding the ones whose pregnancy doesn't make it. So that they get the care, the services, and the treatment they need. And when they do have a pregnancy that moves forward, they're already supported by those that can help them.
No, that's right. Awesome.
Yeah.
I got to shout out my mom because she on here.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
Hi.
So Jaguar DK, that is the person who, created this awesome right here.
I know that's
She's
awesome.
by the way, Mom. So mom to mom, we did good. We did good. Just want you to know.
She's amazing. All right, y'all. So we got to wrap it up today. I'm so excited we came here.
Thank you for coming.
To come and do this show, Soul Talk with T and Key, on a Saturday.
Yes.
Right? Special edition. And right?
Yes.
So thank you for being our guest
Yes,
today.
thank you
for
so
having
much.
a dopey event
Yes.
yesterday.
Thank you so much.
Woo.
It was awesome.
It was
Really,
absolutely
thank you guys.
amazing. Your first
Thank
event
you.
was like, girl.
Yes, more to come, and certainly we'll let you guys know.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So take it away, friend. Close us out.
Well, thank you again for joining Soul Talk with T and Key. We appreciate y'all. We will see y'all again on April the 6th. Will be our next show at 5 p.m. with another special guest. You know how we do. But again, we appreciate y'all. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. That is extremely important, you guys, because what we talk about is important. We want to get it across to everyone. So thank you again, Miss Cynthia Sparks. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
And thank y'all.
Bye. You're on TV. Mama, you made it.
I made it to TV. What?
All right.
Y'all still live?
No, it's ended.